Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Yes, it is Thursday afternoon, and we've got a different guest this week because you know Richard Morrison is indisposed. So I'm very happy to have into the studio this afternoon Vanessa Crowe from KCDC. Now, Vanessa is the Sustainable Communities Coordinator. Good afternoon, Vanessa.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. Now, can you tell me, what does a Sustainable Communities Coordinator do?
Well, I do a lot of things, but mostly the focus is sort of in the title. It's about sustainability and the community. So I work on a lot of projects which are community-led, so encouraging people in the community to get together with one another and work on projects to look after the environment.
So what is a sustainable community?
You can interpret that in all sorts of different ways. Sustainability doesn't always just mean the environment. It can be about sustaining relationships, sustaining a good standard of living, and we have a focus on looking after the environment as well.
Yeah.
So the sort of concept of a sustainable community is about connecting people together in a place-based way so that people know each other and can look after each other and also look after the environment that they live in. And so we just look for lots of different ways to help support that in the community.
It's quite a holistic overview, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the intention, is to, really work in a grassroots way, and it's about building resilience as well. So by people knowing each other and connecting with each other, they're more likely to be able to look after each other in an emergency. And also they're invested in their own local environment. So people in the community are the best place to start for looking after our environment.
That's how we used to be, though, didn't we?
Yeah, well, that's what we're sort of trying to go back to is, just taking, as you say, a holistic approach to caring for our people and our planet.
Yeah, well, I used to think this was just sustainable communities was all about gardening because, as you know, I talked to Hannah Swartz. But it's more than that. And you're talking about greener neighbourhoods as well. Yeah,
that's a program that has been part of the Sustainable Communities Coordinator role since it started, probably I think about 10 years ago. And this is a program that is growing and changing. So we started off running greener neighbourhoods to do all things like to connect people together, to get them invested in the environment, to build resilience. And the program has run about 7 or 8 times now. And over time, we've sort of really watched what people have got out of it and what the benefits are and listened to what people say. And one thing that I've really heard is that people have really busy lives. So kind of investing in this program, when people have got into it, they've come out the other end and said it was so valuable, it was amazing. But often at the beginning there's a hesitation because it's felt like a lot of work. And so we've sort of tried to really listen to people and try to create a program that is as community-led as possible. So Greener Neighbourhoods used to be a competition. It was about competing with other groups to make the biggest reductions in your eco footprint. Yep. And I decided to, also things just often need to change because freshness, just provokes new ideas and new opportunities. So we changed the program this year to become a grant that groups can get together and sign up for essentially a grassroots grant to kickstart an environmental project. And it's sort of turning the program inside out and looking at the outcomes that we aim for, which is about environmental reduction. So we're looking at things like reducing waste, alternates to mass consumer culture consumption, looking at restoring the local environment, how we can support local food production, how we can build resilience, sort of as you say, a really holistic approach. And when you look another level down at how you can actually do that. It's like, well, you can get food co-ops established. You can establish community gardens. You can look at ways to share seasonal surplus, to relearn how to preserve and ferment food. You can look at ways to share resources instead of things going to landfill, how to reduce your plastic waste. There's all sorts of different ways to do it. And so we're trying to capture all of these different ideas for projects that people can do, and then encourage groups to come together, sign up for the program, get some support and a little bit of funding to work on a project that's going to have really clear outcomes that they can be really proud of as a community.
Oh my goodness, we could talk all afternoon about this, Vanessa. But I think a really good place for people to start would be to go to the KCDC website and sign up for it's a monthly newsletter onto it.
We've got onto it, yep.
Yeah, okay. So if you want to learn a little bit more and think, oh my goodness, that sounds very overwhelming, go to KCDC's website, just Google KCDC, and then once you're on their website, just type into the search bar onto it, and you can subscribe to get the monthly newsletter sent through to you. But we'll see if we can get Vanessa Crowe in next week, because there's so much more she has to say. And of course, number 8 Wire Week will be coming up in the middle of the year, won't it?
Yep, we've got number 8 Wire Week, and I know Hannah's talked already about the community garden parties, which are happening as of next week through till mid-April. So we're really working on a whole new calendar of events that happen every year. And, I can tell you more about those over the next few weeks.
There's so much to talk about, but we've just about run out of time for now. So thank you very much. That's Vanessa Crowe from KCDC. She's the Sustainable Communities Coordinator. It's very exciting. Thanks for coming in, Vanessa.
Thanks for having me.
106.3 Beach FM.